Hi, my name is Deandra Hall, and this is my Sustainable Development Goal presentation for Goal 16, which is Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions. The summary for this particular Sustainable Development Goal, the purpose is to promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. The individuals who are interested in this particular goal are interested in the progress of this goal, and those who strongly believe in justice for all people, no matter where they come from, what they've done, what they haven't done. It's just justice for all people. And also on this particular slide, I have a few definitions of peace, inclusive, and justice. Although we know what these words mean, I just want to really emphasize on these words because this is the emphasis, this is the essence of this goal. For the targets of this goal, there are 12, but the three that I've picked out that were most important to me were 16.1, which states significantly reduce all forms of violence and related death rates everywhere. All forms of violence and related death rates everywhere need to reduce because right now in our society in the United States, we have so many violent crimes going on and so many deaths that we need to really focus on this one particular target. And then target 16.2, which states end abuse, exploitation, trafficking, and all forms of violence against and torture of children. I believe that this target speaks for itself in that children they're the most innocent form of humans, in my opinion, and I believe this is an important target. And lastly, 16.8, which states broaden and strengthen the participation of developing countries in the institution of global governance. And this particular target is important to me because developing countries are the ones who most, if not the most, who need these peace, justice, and strong institutions in their country because they're the ones who deal with on a day-to-day basis a war-torn city. They deal with, hardships every single day that we in countries like the United States don't deal with, and I believe that that's a very important target to have. For the current global progress of this particular Sustainable Development Goal, there were three that I've picked out that I believe to be the three that have shown the most progress in our world. And number one was the number of victims of intentional homicide worldwide remained relatively stable from 2008 to 2014. The worldwide number of victims of intentional homicide was estimated to be between 4.6 and 6.8 per 1,000 people in 2014, and a slight decrease with respect to previous years. And this is very good progress for our world to have decreased the number of intentional homicides in our world, and I believe that this is good progress towards this goal. And secondly, the share of girls and boys among victims of human trafficking peaked in 2011. By 2014, the figures had dropped to 18% and 7% respectively, but we're still almost twice the levels reported in 2004. Although we have made some progress towards this target, there's still a lot to be done. Human trafficking is something that's very serious in all parts of our world. And thirdly, registering children at birth is the first step in securing recognition before the law and safeguarding individual rights and access to justice. In places like the sub-Saharan Africa, over half, 54% of their children aren't even registered as a person until after their 5th birthday. And this is something that we have to keep working towards because everyone needs to be recognized as a citizen of this world. They need to be recognized as a human, which is also, progress towards justice for everybody. And these are just some of the other global progress of this particular goal. For my global region of the world that I picked was the small country of Kosovo, which is a small country in the southeast of Europe. It was just liberated from Serbia not too long ago, about 2008. And the purpose of the project that the United Nations started in this particular country is called Kosovo Small Arms Control Project, and the purpose of it is to reduce gun crime and violence in a country that's still recovering from a brutal war that they had in the 1990s. And according to a recent survey, 50% of the households in this country still own firearms to protect themselves, and some of them are illegal. Also, in the year 2015, this particular project provided more advanced technical equipment for the police force in this country to help them fight crime. They provided them with a bullet recovery system, a shooting lab where police can test the weapons, a tracing database, an ammunition identification database, where all of this information is handed over to the Kosovo Forensic Agency. And also, this particular project, the KSAP, is a huge leap in the right direction for this particular goal. It recognizes the value of a properly equipped police force, which will promote more successful and a more peaceful society in this country as they are still recovering from their brutal civil war in the 90s. And this also will improve access to justice. And this is another step towards this sustainable development goal. And last but certainly not least, these are some of the recommendations that I've come up with to work towards the sustainable development goal. One was more projects like the KSACP should be created because this project is something that promotes peace. It promotes a reduction of gun violence, and in general, projects like that should be created not just by the United Nations, but by other non-governmental agencies or other organizations in our world. And then education on new forms of protection. I believe that if more individuals knew about different forms of protection other than guns and violence and fighting, more peaceful ways to sit down and reconcile with each other, I believe that this would be a better way to work towards this goal. And then promotion of new projects like the KSAP project, because before doing this presentation, I had never heard of this kind of project or this kind of organization at all. And I believe that if more projects like this out there exist, then we should promote them because they are for a good cause. And last but certainly not least, more language learning worldwide. This is a rare one that I came up with because when there's a language barrier between people, that a lot of times creates frustration, which often leads to some kind of violence sometimes. And I believe that if more people were bilingual, trilingual, knew multiple languages, are able to communicate with each other on a more peaceful level because they actually understand each other and understand where the other is coming from a little better, I believe that this will be a better way to work towards this goal. So thank you so much for listening to this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.